Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back to RMU Psychology Presents. We are doing our third webinar series discussion of our Let's Talk, How to Prepare and Apply to Graduate School. Obviously, for our webinar reminders, we are recording, so just make sure that your microphone is muted. If you have any questions or concern, you can definitely set it in the chat bar, and or we can have a discussion at the end for sure. So with that, alrighty. So we have two presenters today. We have our new GA.
Do you want me to? So my name is Akira Kirkpatrick. I'm new to the Master's Counseling Psych program, and I am the first year graduate assistant for the psych department.
And I am, of course, Amber. I am a second year Master's in Counseling student, and I am a second year graduate assistant. So you will be having both of us presenting to you today. With that, I will hand over the floor to Akira.
Okay, so today we're gonna kind of go over a few different points. What is graduate school, the different types of programs within the field of psychology for grad schools, how to apply, and of course, we're going to talk about our counseling program here, and the application requirements and process for Robert Morris, and then the benefits of getting into graduate school and getting a master's degree.
All right, so what is graduate school? Basically, compared to undergraduate studies, graduate school is a more concentrated course of study with greater expectations for the quality and quantity of your work. So there are three different types of graduate degrees that are available that you can take depending on the major you're in and how you want to proceed within furthering your education within the graduate level. There's a specialist degree, a master's degree, and doctoral degrees. So like a specialist degree is basically an extra set of a degree within a master's degree. It will like require additional coursework, training, all that kind of stuff. Basically what it does, it can help somebody kind of take more on a specific route within like the broad idea of a master's degree. So like, for example, if you're in counseling and you have the idea of wanting to do drug and alcohol, there are like different types of degrees and certifications that you can take in drug and alcohol counseling, which will direct you more towards an advanced career in that. It obviously depends with your level of interest and where you want to move forward with that. Master's degrees are obviously offered in many fields of study. Some are designed to lead into the doctoral degree, while others, they're considered terminal for a profession. So it just depends exactly what you want to do and what you're looking for. For full-time students, completing a master's degree usually takes 2 years. Some programs can take up to 4, depending on if you want to be a full-time student or if you want to be a part-time student. And if you're a part-time student within availability and when coursework is offered, that definitely differentiates in that sense. And then with the doctoral degree, obviously this is the highest degree possible. They require a lot of new knowledge. You're doing independent research. You're going to be defending a dissertation, that's something you'll do throughout your entire time while getting your doctorate degree. And it can take anywhere from 5 to 7 years to complete, depending on the route you take and your specific field of study.
So there are different types of programs for psychology. There's a Master's of Arts in Clinical Psychology, which would lead to you either becoming a licensed professional counselor or a licensed marriage and family counselor. There are Masters of Arts in Psychology. There is Master of Science in Applied Behavior Analysis, Master of Science in Forensic Psychology, You can also do a PhD in psychology or a PsyD, which would be a doctor of psychology, and those are both doctoral um, programs, whereas all the other ones are master's programs.
And the one cool thing I do want to note, kind of going off of Akira, so the Master of Arts in Clinical Psychology, we are actually different. We are the Master of Sciences in Clinical Psych, Counseling Psych. So the LPC for us would be under the Master of Science field in comparison to the Master of Arts, whereas some different universities kind of name that differently. So that kind of leads into our counseling program here at Robert Morris. We are a 2-year cohort program. We provide a foundation in counseling skills, assessment, and individual/group therapy. Basically, it helps students gain the opportunity to be supervised in practical experience within both a formal practicum and internship. It's 60 credits. We learn how to understand client issues in a variety of different settings. We're doing individually tailored interventions with these kind of clients. You'll be multiculturally diverse in understanding how different cultures work in our field and how to work with different people in different cultures. It's very, very heavily focused on that, which is awesome. So we are accredited. We are accredited by the Masters in Psychology and Counseling Accreditation Council. We're the new accreditation stuff. We are not KCRAP. So if you do want more information on that, you can definitely go to our webpage, and it kind of gives a whole general overview of the classes you can take, how the 2-year plan looks, because we are a summer, fall, spring setup. So it's a continuous program. It's not just fall and spring. And yeah.
And Amber, did you want to just touch on, just in case people don't know, what a cohort program means?
Yeah. So within the cohort, we only have so many students in each class. So we cap, I believe the max is 12. Whereas schools that don't have the cohorts, they have obviously a wider range of student acceptance. So because of that, we are very competitive to get in. And we also have a very high successful passing rate of the boards that you will take. So yeah, it's just, you're with those students from the start to the end. It's the same group, and you get to know each other and get to work with each other throughout the entire process, which is awesome.
So the application process for Robert Morris's Master of Science in Counseling Psychology program, you have to have a undergrad degree in psychology or related field, with a minimum of a 3.0 cumulative undergraduate GPA. You have to fill out the application and complete it. You need to provide your current resume and an essay addressing your professional goals. You need your transcripts, your official transcripts from the universities you've attended, and you will have to go through a personal interview, and they usually do it in a group setting. So it'll be a group interview process. And then I don't know too much about the 3+2 application, so I'm going to pass it over to you, Amber.
Yeah, so as there are some similarities with the traditional graduate students, there are different things within the 3+2 application. So basically, the 3+2 program is you're earning your bachelor's to master's, which is within 5 years rather than the 6th. So basically, you will transition to the master level courses in your senior year. So basically, you'll follow through the traditional based graduate student coursework and that cohort model. but it's one of those things where the application process starts as soon as you kind of get into our program as an undergrad student, if you're interested. It's one of those things where you will speak to your academic advisor to see if you're eligible within means of requirements and qualification to be able to become a 3+2 student. Unlike our traditional program, the 3+2 program is still very, very new. It was created in like 2019, 2020. So kind of in the start of the pandemic is when they were really working through the process of creating this program. So it is still fairly new. But at least my cohort, we have a mix of traditional students and 3+2 students. And I personally feel that it works very well in the dynamic sense of being a cohort, because the 3+2 students have that more recent undergraduate level education in psychology, whereas the traditional students like myself, where I took time to be in the field and work in the field for a little bit, I'm able to bring in that applicable experience, and we're able to work together in means of being both educational based and practical and applicable based for sure. Yeah, and it's one of those things. The application process for the 3+2 is also different, and I believe it's within the admissions area, because for all the different, because there's like a 4+1, 3+2, there's a whole bunch of different setups for the master degree programs with the bachelor's to accelerated masters in our university. So that application should be with the admissions part, as where to all of the other programs are following.
So the benefits of getting into graduate school, it gives you an opportunity to grow both personally and professionally. All of your classes talk about your professional identity as a counselor. So you're learning materials that are geared towards specific related field related courses. If you're in a program that specifically is gearing you towards something like licensed marriage and family counselor, like it's gonna be a much more focused curriculum and a much more focused learning experience. And it can help with providing more career opportunities within these specific populations. For example, drug and alcohol counseling, family counseling, and basically anything that you want to specialize in. There is opportunities and programs that where you can learn what you need to know and become a counselor in that field. So, and it can also act as a guide for you to continue on into a doctorate program. So you will be basically building off of what you learn in a master's program when you get into a doctorate program.
Yeah, so if you want to, Akira, if you kind of want to talk about how this experience so far has benefited you, kind of giving a little bit of insight.
Yeah, so I, like Amber, am a traditional student. So I did an undergraduate psychology degree at a different university, which was a lot larger. And I feel like even though obviously some of my classes were specifically geared towards psychology, it wasn't as focused as a graduate program is. Whereas in a graduate program, everything that I'm learning in the classroom is directly applicable to what I will be doing as a professional. None of it is just, information that you learn for that class and then you never, touch on it again. And a lot of it is hands-on learning. Like in our skills class, we don't just talk about the skills that you need to have as a counselor. We actually practice them and use them. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot more hands-on learning. And like Akira was saying, it's very specific and obviously geared in psychology. So it's nice to have that sense of diving in deeper of what is kind of surfacely touched in undergrad for sure. I don't know about you, but since I've had the opportunity to do my practicum and internship and drug and alcohol counseling, which was something I never thought I was going to do, I have learned so much, and I now really enjoy working with a population I never thought of ever working with. So
Mm-hmm.
it really teaches you a lot about yourself,
Yes.
for sure. And, it's one of those things where, I mean, as with anything, there's something called imposter syndrome, which everyone faces from time to time. It's normal. But at the end of the day, if you do have the opportunity to get into a master's program, a doctoral program, a specialized program, I feel like that has to be the push and the motivator of imposter syndrome, because you got here for a reason. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a really nice benefit to have the opportunity to continue on educationally, for sure, because it not only provides you more knowledge, but it provides you with so many more opportunities in your career and advancement in career, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't actually worked with real clients yet, but I am very excited for my practicum to actually get out into the field and, test which populations that, are right for me or even are wrong for me, because even that is a learning experience and an opportunity for personal and professional growth.
Absolutely. And, because we are set up to do the practicum and the 2 internships, it really does give time and opportunity to work in different fields of psychology, work within those different populations. I'm staying at my site for a 3rd semester in the spring, and I get to work with both adults and adolescents. So I get to see, different levels in that sense. So I'm very excited about that, but it's definitely worthwhile, for sure.
Mhm.
Alrighty. We are going to stop it here so we can talk about questions. Stop.